The legends were out for this Los Angeles duel. This Lakers-Clippers matchup featured 5 NBA top 75 players of all time. And then there's one on the way as you see James Harden nearing his Clippers debut. But for now, all he could do is enjoy his front row view of the king. LeBron playing a little bit of cat and mouse, putting his shoe on, and then ducking underneath Kawhi and heading to the rim, and Anthony Davis finds the king. Good decision. Third quarter. Austin Reeves struggled to find his shot in the first half. He grabbed some ankles in the second half. Norman Powell, get up, fight back. Lakers, though, down in the fourth. It's LeBron going glass. He had a monster game. LeBron with that patented little look-away three-pointer that he's mastered over the years. The Lakers now take an 8-point lead, but the Clippers are not done. The former Laker, Russell Westbrook, he was on his P's and Q's in this one. 24 points, 11 rebounds, 8 assists for Brody. Not to mention PG-13 was on the money. George, 11 of 16 from the field, 35 points. Clippers right back in this thing. With 15 seconds to go, George gets fouled on a 3 trying to tie the game up at 117. This bad boy was reviewed and the call was upheld. You be the judge. Did Cam Reddish get PG on the arm or no? We're tied at 117. Last chance for the Lakers in regulation. D'Angelo Russell gets a good look. It is no good. D'Lo did have himself a game though, 27 points himself. We would go to overtime. In OT, Austin finds you-know-who. Year 21 where? Just throw it up in the vicinity. And the story is still the same. At age 38, nearing 39, the king will go get it. Bronny loving what he sees from Pop. 35 points, 12 rebounds, 7 assists for LeBron. But Kawhi can cock that thing too. Leonard had a big first and had a big OT. That deuce plus the foul and that 3 again cuts the Clippers deficit down to 1. Kawhi had 35 points. George would foul out. Lakers would take advantage. Christian Wood with the put-away, put-back jam. AD did a lot of cleaning up as well. He had 10 boards to go along with his 27 points. And the Lakers get their first win against the Clippers in a very long time. Your final, 130-125. De'Aaron Fox is down for a few weeks, but that doesn't mean his Sacramento Kings are out. Another Warriors-Kings matchup. It feels like they played like 95 times in the last year. This one taking place from San Francisco, which means we got a healthy dose of Steph Curry. The former Warrior, JaVale McGee, ties this game up at 28. Second quarter, shall we? It's Malik Monk trying to do his best to make up for his backcourt mate's absence. The Warriors, on the other hand, are pretty much 100% for the first time in a little minute. Wiggins and then Steph nailing the three-pointer. Let's go to the second half, shall we? Where the Kings decide to turn it up a little bit. Is Giannis inside. Nice pick and roll action. And then another former Warrior, Harrison Barnes, nails the 3. Kings up by 7. They go up by 9 when Keegan Murray decides to show you the grind. Double-digit lead for Sacramento, short-handed. Could they hold on to it? The short and long answer is no. Curry nails the 3. That's nothing new. I'll tell you what is new, though. How about the pick and pop play from Dario Saric? 15 points, 6 rebounds. If they could get him going, you can see how he could be deadly in that Warriors system. Curry's been deadly in that same system for a very long time. And when it ain't been him, it's been guys like Draymond Green and Kevon Looney cleaning up the mess. Draymond to Looney. Warriors up by 3 with 3:33 to go. Sacramento's not done yet. It's Monk. An aggressive approach at the rim and scoring. And then on the other end, it's Curry, 2 of his 21. We got a back and forth game. 100-99. The Warriors up by a point. Sabonis goes glass. Giannis had 23 points, 11 boards. Warriors need a bucket. I brought up pretty much everybody that's made this ship go over the last decade. I ain't forget about Klay Thompson goes game. The go-ahead jump shot with 0.2 to go for Klay. Last call for alcohol. Kings get that thing as close as they can to the rim. Monk is unable to finish. It is GSW once again down in the SAC. This one by 102-101. A lot of young talent in this Pelicans Thunder matchup from Oklahoma City. SGA and Josh Giddey had them boys ready to ball early against New Orleans. Giddey nailing the mid-range jump shot. And then Gilgeous-Alexander finds Giddey down low for an easy one. And since we're talking about Shea, we might as well show you how he can get to the money. That deuce counts plus the foul. He's like 90% from the free throw line, so you already know where that's going. And you can't forget about the newcomer, rookie Chet Holmgren. He's good. Usman James gonna go up and get it off the pass from Giddey. Giddey up was the only thing I could think of saying right there. Don't judge me. Giddey goes behind the back. Holmgren goes to the rim. The result for the Thunder was a bucket. They go up 22 points. Holmgren had 19 points, 11 rebounds. But this is the NBA, ladies and gentlemen. Everybody makes a run, especially when you got the talent like Zion and Jordan Hawkins. The three is good. At the half, Pelicans had already cut in their deficit, and they're not done. Third quarter, Zion finding CJ McCollum. CJ had himself a game. More on him in a second. Let's go to the big fella first, though. It's Zion. Chest to chest, man to man, what you put in the gym versus what Zion did. And when he can get to the court, I like his chances. Zion finds Jonas Valanciunas for the three. And then Zion off the free throw. Who gonna stop that? The Thunder now trail after allowing the Pelicans to come all the way back and grab an 11-point lead. McCollum nails the three. He had 29 points and 11 points. Now, can the Thunder come back after the Pelicans came back? Chet throws it down. But it's a 12-point game as Zion once again gets to the bucket. He had 20 points, 9 boards. Here comes SGA, Gilgeous-Alexander, grown man deuce. But then there's McCollum. Pelicans up by 4. At this point, the Thunder would need some things to fall their way, including that three from SGA. It was no good. 22 points gone. Pelicans come back to win 110-106. San Antonio Spurs enjoyed their time in Phoenix so much they decided to stay, and these two teams played another game. And we got Devin Booker back. Spurs Suns, second time in a week. This time around, though, the Spurs got out to a much better start than they did last time, in large part due to Victor Wembanyama not struggling at all. This young fella is figuring it out in real time, ladies and gentlemen. Wembanyama, a man amongst boys against Phoenix. You see KD's going to get the block there, but you got to grab the ball. Wembanyama ends up with it, and he scores. San Antonio's already up 17 points, second quarter. If you throw that thing up high enough, I mean, he's 7'4". I don't know what else you can say about that. I mean, it gets to a point where height's got to matter. Even at that level, Devin Vassell, grown man deuce, and just like that, San Antonio's up 23 points. But I promise you, this game belonged to San Antonio Spurs' #1 overall pick, Mr. Wembanyama. I'm going to find my own nickname for him. I like Wembanyama. Games so good make you want to smack your mama, but it's too long. Victor's a very long guy. Wembanyama still balling out. And this three puts the Spurs up by 19. And this three puts the Spurs up by 20. Can we take a break? Third quarter, it's more Wemby going and getting it. Again, he's taller than everybody else on the court. This kind of gets repetitive. Eric Gordon's tried his best. I love that, by the way. He's like, what you want me to do with this? Wembanyama going at anybody the Suns had to offer. They might want to go get another big. Somebody a little more physical than this, because Wemby making it look easy. Spurs still in command of this one. But Phoenix does make a run. Again, I mentioned Booker's back for this one after missing a few games with a foot injury. It's D-Book showing you who he is. 31 points and 9 boards for Booker. Check out this defense. Another block from KD. This time the Suns get the rock, and they go to Keita Bates-Diop. It's the NBA. Everybody makes a run, especially when you got a team that features Durant and D-Book. And it's Durant. His tray ball goes. We got a 1-point game after all that greatness from Wemby. KD had 28 points, but nobody had an answer for this dude, Wembanyama. still attacking the Suns with ferocity. Wembay, ladies and gentlemen, is here. 38 points, 10 rebounds for the 7'4" assassin. Obviously the best game of his very young career. The Spurs win again in Arizona, this time by 11. Toronto Raptors have already given the Philadelphia 76ers one loss this season. Could they make it a second loss? A little home-and-home action. Sixers, Raptors. With James Harden going, Tobias Harris can return to who he used to be. Shout out my Ball for Life. He nails a three. Then Tyrese Maxey in transition. He's going to be the guy that's got the responsibility of being the new number 2 in Philly. So far, so good for Maxey, and so far, so great for the MVP of the league. Joel Embiid continues to dominate to kick off the 23-24 campaign. Look at Embiid just getting to the money. And the Sixers needed all of it. They led at the half, third quarter. More Joel Embiid, the block on Pascal Siakam. And it's Maxey, the quick deuce. But I got to show you one more angle of this block. That is a Cameroon crime from Embiid to Siakam. Other end, Embiid off his pivot, just showing you what hard work, dedication can do. Joel puts the Sixers up by 7. And then look at this dime from Embiid to Oubre, who takes the rock and gets to the rim with ease. Joel Embiid had 7 assists. Tobias Harris channeling his inner Joel Embiid off his pivot. And it's Philadelphia taking the 15-point lead. It's the NBA, though. Everybody makes a run. When you got talented forwards like Scotty Barnes, you're going to make one. He finishes in transition. OG Anunoby's, this is a hard playoff foul on Embiid. Nothing wrong with it, but it was a hard foul. Embiid would stay in the game, though, and continue to dominate. Joel Embiid goes for 28 points, 13 rebounds. I already mentioned to you guys the 7 assists. Sixers get some get back. They beat the Raptors by 15. I thought Joel Embiid did some super dope taking up for that Philadelphia 76ers franchise following the James Harden fiasco that led to him being traded to LA. During his Clippers introductory press conference, Harden said that he kind of felt like he was on a leash last year in Philly and that, quote, "I'm not a system player. I am the system." It was Embiid that went behind Harden and said, yo, no, I thought we did a pretty good job of giving Harden the ball pretty much every time down because he deserved it. He's a great player. I thought that was a very mature thing for Embiid to say. I feel like he was calling out Harden, who was trying to leave a little bit of stink on Philly that could hurt them for the upcoming years, and maybe other stars think twice about going to Philadelphia. To me, it's the little boy who cried wolf syndrome with Harden. I don't understand how he crapped on Houston years ago and then wanted to go back to Houston, and then he crapped on Brooklyn. To me, it's a little boy that cried wolf syndrome with Harden, and I like that Embiid said, nah, that wasn't the case here in Philly. We gave you the ball. You just wanted something better for James Harden. And I want to take this further. I think the Philadelphia 76ers are fine without Harden. They put themselves in position to be able to potentially go out and get maybe a Zach LaVine. I'm watching the Chicago Bulls thing really closely. It feels as if, though, the Bulls are going to be the first team to blow it up. All the players are hinting at it, which I don't think is a good sign at all. All you keep hearing from Chicago Bulls players are how close they is to, this thing being blown up. And it's weird to me. I don't think I've ever seen that. They pretty much walked into the year knowing that this thing ain't going to work out. They have clearly been demoralized with how 2 years ago the season ended with Giannis kicking them out of the playoffs without Middleton even there. And then last year, them losing to the Miami Heat in the play-in tournament. I'm watching the Zach LaVine thing closely. I got to believe at some point the Toronto Raptors are going to say enough is enough of the Siakam, OG Anunoby era. Hence, Philly just beating up on the Raptors there. I got to believe at some point Toronto's going to say we're going to pivot in a different direction. I assume maybe one of those dudes to be available in the foreseeable future. And maybe, just maybe, there will be, we know there's going to be a star or two that gets unhappy about their scenario. Hell, every year Harden and Kyrie are unhappy, it feels like. Maybe Harden's already used up his one unhappy for this year. So obviously you're not looking to bring him back. But who knows? Kyrie might be unhappy next week. And then there are other stars coming down the pipeline who could very well be unhappy. This is the NBA. So I don't rule out Philadelphia being done as a championship contending team in the Joel Embiid era. What I will say, though, is if they're not able to find something soon, assuming that they're at around the 4 or 5 seed out east and they get bounced out of the playoffs in the second round or maybe even the first this year, I definitely could see the trade rumors and speculation heightening of Embiid next summer. Obviously, the New York Knicks are going to be in that conversation, I'm assuming, to be heavily. So, look, I'm not ruling anything out. I don't know how it ends for Joel Embiid in Philly. My gut tells me he won't play his entire career in Philadelphia. My gut tells me he's going to go somewhere else. But I do believe that Philadelphia 76ers fan base needs to remember when Harden tried to throw them up against the wall and put a little dirt on them, Embiid went out of his way to say, hold on, bro. Harden was great. He ain't just get done dirty in Philly. We gave him the ball every chance he get, because what Harden is kind of doing is crapping on Embiid's run last year. Like whatever happened under Doc Rivers and James Harden last year in Philadelphia, it led to the greatest version of Joel Embiid last year. So with Harden saying, man, I felt marginalized. I'm not a system player. They had me on a leash last year. What you're doing in a lot of ways is crapping on Embiid's season. I like what Embiid did to say, hold on, bro. Things wasn't as bad as Harden's trying to say it was, at least from his vantage point.
Collins backing down, spins baseline, passing in traffic to Wembanyama.
Be able to withstand it, to be able to execute here down the stretch. Wow.
On a catch and shoot from Wembanyama.
I saw something that Shaquille O'Neal said about Victor Wembanyama that I thought was dead wrong. On Inside the NBA, Shaq refuted something Reggie Miller said, which was we had never seen a player like Wemby. Shaq said we have seen a player like Wembanyama. His name is Bol Bol. I think that's one of the worst takes I have ever heard from Shaquille O'Neal. Let's make something clear. We all love Inside the NBA. To me, it's the greatest basketball show ever. At 2 in the morning, I'm always laughing at Charles Barkley and Shaquille O'Neal. They are legends of the sport. But I always tell y'all, there is a difference between knowing the game of basketball and covering the NBA. Those dudes obviously know the game of basketball. Their takes are oftentimes awful. And Shaq trying to compare Bol Bol, who has shown signs of being great, to Wembanyama that's already great for his level is ridiculous. Hell, Greg Oden for 15, 20 games remind me of Shaquille O'Neal, but I'm not going to compare this man to Shaq overall because he didn't do 1,000th of what Shaq did in his career. Stop it, Shaq. Victor Wembanyama is one of one. We have never seen somebody consistently run that thing up and down the court. And it is disrespectful to compare Bol Bol to Victor Wembanyama already. If he is the player that Shaq is saying he is and that he looks like Victor Wembanyama, why the hell Orlando ain't throw the Brinks truck at Bol Bol? Why they didn't make him the face of the franchise? If Orlando really thought they had one of them, you don't think they would have given Bol Bol the keys to the franchise? They don't do nothing every year but get about the 6th pick in the draft and started over year after year. They finally hit one with Banchero, but before Paolo, the Magic get about the 6th pick every year in the draft and feels like they missed on everybody they draft. You don't think they would have given the keys to the city of Orlando to Bol Bol if he was that dude consistently? Clearly they're seeing something, whether it be health, whether it be talent out there, that shows them he can't be what Victor has been through his very young NBA career. Stop it, Shaq.
Osman with 13 points off the bench. Durant raising up straightaway three. Money. A 1-point game.
I find myself hearkening back to Kevin Durant's time in Golden State often. This dude was able to be the number 2 most important player, but oftentimes look like the best player, win accolades, get to the finals every year, and he left that to go be with Kyrie and Harden in Brooklyn. Either they were hurt or for whatever reason, Kyrie didn't want to play basketball. Now he's in Phoenix with Booker and Bill, And call me crazy, it's still early, but now it looks just like his time in Brooklyn. Every year in Brooklyn, KD would start the season off healthy. He would ball out, try to carry the Nets, and then he'd get hurt midway through the season. And I'm looking at what's going on in Phoenix. It's early, but Booker and Bill out of the lineup. They relied on the 35-year-old to be that dude to kick a season off. And I hated to say it, but what if KD goes down with another injury? Same old tune for KD. That didn't happen when he was with the Warriors. I just don't know if KD made the right decision leaving that system that was Steve Kerr, Steph Curry, and the Warriors. They catered everything to make sure Kevin Durant looked the part, was the part. Everybody was making sure KD was complimented, well-received, well-nourished, and he left for two organizations in Brooklyn and Phoenix that have had their struggles over the years. They've had some success, but definitely had their struggles. And again, Devin Booker, generally speaking, is a healthy dude, but so far not so great for Booker, and we still ain't seen Bradley Beal hit the court yet as a Sun.
Now gets out of there, so Leonard can drive the lane, and he just turned it over and lost the ball. Numbers for the Lakers. Reeves alley-oop. Oh, James with the throwdown in transition. What a night for LeBron James.
Wow. LeBron James is doing something that is absolutely ridiculous to me. At pretty much age 39 and year 21 in his career, he's creating a whole new GOAT argument. Y'all know I'm on the record of saying at their apexes, I felt like Kobe and Mike were both a tad bit better than LeBron. I've always felt like LeBron's career was second best to Mike's. Here's the thing, though, that's throwing me off. LeBron at his best was probably around 2018, right? I did not expect this dude to now potentially have 6 to 8 more years of top 10 level basketball past his prime. Kobe nor Mike, they didn't do that. That would be a whole new GOAT argument if LeBron continues for, let's say, 2-3 more years playing at the level that he is right now. This is ridiculous. This man is still at the point where he does things on the court that nobody in the league can do. And y'all know exactly what I mean by that. We're talking about athleticism. This is one of the even more crazy things to me. There are nights where LeBron still looks like the greatest athlete in the NBA. There's only but so many guys that catch one-hand alleys. LeBron's doing it pretty much at age 39. He'll be 39 in about a month and a half's time. There's only so many guys that throw down multiple dunks a game. LeBron does that still consistently. The acrobatic finishes at the rim. He's still a top 5 passer in the league. Like, bruh, I did not expect this man to be still playing top 10 basketball, which is where I got him at, because there are nights where he doesn't do it as much as he used to, obviously. But more times than not, he's still great. And by the way, he looks much healthier than he did following that injury that he had last year at Dallas. I thought LeBron never really bounced back to the old version of himself. He looks great. Now, you can argue that he won't be able to keep it up the entire year. I definitely get that. He's been around 45, 50 games the last few years. I get that. But just talking about greatness, I didn't expect this man to now have 5 to 7 more years of top 10 level basketball. That's something that Kobe and Mike didn't do. I watched Kobe's entire career, dribble for dribble. I've heard things about this dude named Mike. They didn't have 10 years level of top tier level basketball. Kobe's last great year was probably 33, 34. He tore his Achilles around that time frame. Mike, you know, he won the last championship with Chicago. He was around 35, right? Them dudes didn't have 4 to 5 more great years after those time frames. LeBron is still doing that. It's crazy to me to even fathom. I want to thank you guys so much for the time, love, and support. I gave it to y'all today, man. Great highlights, great takes. This is yours truly, the one and only I Am Ferro. If you enjoyed this great quality content, what I need for you to do right now is not pause the video, not go to another video. I need your support. All right, if you enjoyed this content, you want to see it, and you want to get back to it first, make sure you hit subscribe, and your boy going to take care of you tomorrow. Highlights daily of the most incredible sport that I love the most, the NBA. All right, time, love, support is what your boy will never take for granted. Salute.
I want to salute you, homie, you know, for building your own thing and doing your own thing.
Why build theirs when I believe I can build my own?
You've already done it, or I wouldn't be here.
I'm already the only elite sports and music journalist in the game today. My goal is simple, to be the best there's ever been. So Make sure you subscribe and follow the journey. It truly means everything to me. I tell stories. I talk music. I cover sports. I am culture. I am Ferro.